This is Farm Manager 2018. So here's the situation. I fell asleep, left the game running, and now I got a ton of cash. It was up to 10 million. I bought a lot of land. Now it's down to 6.3 million, which is primarily from the sale of land. So what I'm going to do, I seem to believe that I'm at the limit to the amount of land I can own. I got to pause the game for performance reasons. If I try to buy more land, it doesn't let me buy anything else over here. So this might be the size of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that. So I'm going to build my frozen food factories over here at this border. And the frozen food factory is very large. I'm going to build it right here. I'm going to build 3 of them. I expect that all the deliveries to these factories will be done by truck. The warehouses will be near the fields, and then trucks will deliver all the materials, because you don't want people walking all the way up here. It's a long walk. For efficiency, I'll build the other one behind it. So I'm going to have to let it build so I can figure out where to drop the roads. This is not the most efficient way to drop a road. Obviously, you would like to have like a field over here and then a road. So I'm going to build a frozen food factory back to back. Go over here, 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 rotate, hitting the R key. Build it here. Hopefully the roads will line up. Yeah, it looks like it did. So built a little extension into here. I thought there were 2 entrances. Okay, so what I'm doing is building the 3 large factories, and my small factory, I'm using this one over here for the overflow. You can see that he is only producing tomato juice, while the others are all producing apple juice. And they're cranked up to 100%. Chance I might get rid of those small factories. We'll see. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, you see I dropped quite a bit of cash. I'm going to build tons of greenhouses. They're going to be built in this space over here so that I can bring cash in during the wintertime. I want my employees to have stuff to do. I'm going to build one right now. Go right there. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward so we can get these factories built, and then I'm going to configure them. I'm probably going to have to hire some employees, and ideally I want them to live next to the factory, so I'll probably put some houses right over here. I'm going to pause it because the game is really slow on my computer. Build 1. 2 houses should be enough. back to fast forward. There's no guarantee that I'm going to hire from these houses. Obviously, there is a way to guarantee it. You have to look at the names of the people in the houses when you do the hiring process. I'm probably not going to do that. Really not worried about it. I'm going to make a separate video where I'm going to go through and make sure that everybody lives near the building where they work. Your job is permanent unless you change it manually. So that is something that I will do in the future. I'll go through and optimize where everybody lives. If you build a rest facility, it might not matter. They might just go to the rest facility. So we're at the end of the summer. I have the auto repair feature, so the machine will be fixed. It looks like this is the edge of the map. I can't scroll any further. Houses are done, so we're going to hire people who are going to work in these factories. We want permanent workers. We only have a few to choose from. Oh, there's more. I'm going to pause the game. This is the optimal person. He's got the manufacturing experience and he's got the endurance. So you want to find more like that. If you can't, you just have to find other people like this person here. It's more important to have manufacturing than to have, having manufacturing on at least one person is going to make a difference. Here's another one with endurance. And what we'll do is over time, I'll keep going through and I'll remove everyone that isn't the optimal employee. So what I'm going to do is I am going to rehire. You go back and rehire, and we should have more people to choose from. It's going to refresh some of the people. So you see now there's another one. I'm going to fast forward. Got 8 of 8 in here. Need one more person. Here's one Jasmine. It's always better to have 2 skills as opposed to 1. But that doesn't mean you're going to use both skills. These people are actually good. I want this person to work somewhere else. In general, if you see somebody with endurance, they're a good hire. You know what? I don't know how many factory workers. 5, 10, 15. We've got enough. I'm going to use the autofill option. It's not perfect, but you see that it pulled in people for factories. Pause the game. Okay, the game's paused. I'm going to use the autofill. This one is not factory related. So I'm going to see if I could find somebody, and I am unable to. So I'm going to have to hire. Oh, I only have 2 houses. Okay, so I need to build more houses. While I was doing this process, maybe they went and did other jobs. I don't know. 2 houses should have been enough. It should have been 16 people for 15 jobs. The autofill will pull in people with the skill as well as possible. So I'm going to get people working over here. And then I'll go through later and I will replace anybody who should be doing something else. Like this guy over here. Okay, now we have to decide what it's going to produce. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to make one for each item. So this will be cherry, this will be raspberry, and this will be frozen strawberry. You're going to use the auto trade. It's probably already set because I'm already producing these. You want to sell everything. There's no reason to keep frozen strawberry. This is for your output. This is the output. 0 means you're selling everything. So that's the correct setting. Now I'm going to keep an eye on these values during the harvest. Make sure everything gets sold, and then I will go through the reports and make sure that I see only frozen cherry, frozen strawberry. If we see the regular cherry and the regular strawberry, then we have a problem. That means that we're not producing enough. See, like this tomato could be going out as tomato juice. I have the feeling that this is not income, but instead it's wealth or profit, or current profit. It's a summation. It's not itemized. The mini-map looks really strange. Like if you go over here, what are these buildings, like these blue buildings? If I go over here, these blue buildings are not here. So there's something wrong with the mini-map. I really don't understand what the mini-map is. It's not accurate. Like it shows these buildings over the river. Okay, so we're going to go back over to here, and we're going to check out our employees. Actually, I want to do this building. I will pause. We're going to see if we can fix Page and get someone in manufacturing. There's one right there. And then we will check this building. We'll do the same. I'm going to clear, because you want to release these people so that they can get other jobs. And then click autofill. Yeah, so nobody knew. Gonna have to wait. Or I might have, it's possible that they're busy out on the field. People with the manufacturing skill, and it's possible I need to hire more people. So I don't know. I'm gonna hire more people. Every time I hire more people, it is slowing down my game. Look for anyone that does manufacturing. I think we have enough. So I'm going to come over here, go to employees, clear everybody out. Then autofill. And now we've got manufacturing. The final step is to go through and upgrade everyone. This person will probably never do this. So if you need to save money, don't level that up. Because basically, I'm not going to keep these people forever. I'm going to eventually get rid of them and replace them with people that have endurance. Such as this person right here. This person's a keeper. Sometimes you have beekeeping and then manufacturing, and it might be manufacturing and then beekeeping. It would be nice if it were standard. The way to standardize it, obviously, is to sort it alphabetically. Just in case the game developers are listening. I occasionally will make comments about game development in case the game developers are listening. Okay, so I made a mistake with that one. There is an issue with the game performance. If you develop the software using your own engine, it's easy to fix. If you use someone else's engine and they have a bug in it, then it's not. But there are ways to improve performance. One of the issues has to do with memory usage. And the way you improve performance in regards to memory usage is you use the hard drive to store data. And you reduce the amount of data that's stored in memory. It does mean you have to access the drive more often. So you do one at the expense of another. But the question is, what data do you store on the hard drive that will make the game faster? Some of those people might have jobs working out in the fields, so I should have upgraded them for field work. But you see that he is employed in building. I am going to probably build more frozen food factories, etc. Just in case someone lives far away, I'm going to build a building where they can rest, which is this building right here. See if I can build it here. Pause again. Like, one way you can improve in performance is that whenever you pull open a menu to build, for example, auto pause the game. So you have a feature that if it detects that the game is slowing down, then you auto pause the feature whenever the user is interacting with menus, and you see how the performance is a lot better. And if I do it on fast forward, it's very slow, it barely moves. So that's one of the ways that you improve the game. The other way to do it is that you have these people are moving, and there's something called a cycle, a game cycle. And what it does is every game cycle, it moves every person, it moves every vehicle, it checks to see if harvesting needs to be done. If the game starts to slow down, you put in code to just not move them as frequently. So maybe you move them half as often, but you move them twice as far. The other thing you do to improve game performance is you do all the checks in order of priority, and the things that have the lowest priority you put last on the list. And if the game is slowing down, then you stop the cycle early and restart it. I'm going to give you an example. You have to move everybody, and you have to check to see if this is ready for harvesting. Checking to if there's a delay in checking for harvesting, the user's not going to notice. But if there's a delay in moving people, the user notices. So move people first. Check for whether it needs to be harvested last. And then don't check for harvesting every cycle. The user won't notice if you skip it once in a while. And then you have like a timeout that says it must be checked once per second. Like if they're moving people 10 times per second, that's good. But if they're checking for harvesting 10 times per second, it's slowing the game down. You don't need to check harvesting 10 times per second. You might only have to check once every 5 seconds. So that's one of the ways that you improve the speed of the game. There's so many different tricks you can use. If a developer needs advice, contact me and I'll explain to you all the different ways you can improve game performance. I'll probably post it in the forums. I use the forums on Steam. We've got 6 days left for this. No more building upgrades. We're going to check the buy land feature. It looks like I've only got these plots of land left to buy. So maybe it won't be too painful. So let's check the frozen food. Let's see if it's doing anything. I'm going to pause the game. We have frozen strawberry production. This is not producing anything. Nothing in the warehouse. This is producing frozen raspberry. We can see we've got some items in the warehouse. So I'm concerned about warehousing. Some of the products come from over here. Because they need to move in this direction, I'm probably going to build a warehouse right over here. This should improve the flow of produced goods. So small warehouse, we'll build it over here. This is going to be kind of centrally located. We've already got one here. I'll build another one over here, which is centrally located for all these buildings. And in this area, I will build little support buildings. Now, they produce frozen foods, so we want that to go to a frozen food warehouse, which is right here. And we want it to be as close as possible for optimized delivery, so I'm going to build it right here, which should optimize the use of space. Space is optimized with squares. If you understand CPU design, CPUs are usually squares, and the reason why is because you get the smallest, is it the greatest volume with the smallest diameter? Is that something like that? If you do rectangles, you need more roads for the rectangular space with a smaller volume. So that's why you build in squares. Building in squares should reduce the amount of roads you build overall, by maybe 10 to 20%. Okay, so frozen foods should increase my income during the winter time. So what's going to happen is that people produce the fruits at the end of the fall. It will get shipped to the warehouses. They'll then get shipped to the frozen food factories. It will get sold on the market. And during the winter time, they will be bringing in some items here. I don't know if this produces anything that goes to frozen food. Strawberries do. These strawberries will be produced during the winter time. They will go into the frozen food factories and then produce income in the winter. If you don't have the money to build the big buildings, definitely build the small buildings. They will make money. Okay, I believe that's going to be it for today's video.